Ooh, welcome to Walls House. It's me, it's your man, it's your main man, it's Ole Walls, and I'm back again. Episode 181 coming your way. Just want to start off by saying thank you to everybody. Thank you for all the continued support. I appreciate all the watches, the listens. If you guys could, please like, review, comment, subscribe, and share. Let everybody know Ole Walls House is the place to be. A couple of another little housekeeping thing here. Ole Walls House has a merch store now. It is up. The link will be in the description of this episode. Check it out. Right now, just a shirt, a mug, a coffee mug, and a tumbler on there. But I'm gonna work on throwing some more things on there. So go check it out. I'll work on doing some discount codes and stuff as well. And see if we can find some stuff on there for you fellas and gals, if there's even any gals out there to snag up. Run it solo here today. Going to talk the Travelers, the Guardians, the NHL and NBA playoffs have ended. Talk a little bit about some travel stuff and some passing thoughts, as well as a bunch of other crap I'll get into there. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Captain Keegan Bradley pulls out the victory at the Travelers Championship. Keegan, who had won this a couple years ago, if you listened to the broadcast at all, they made many mentions that he won this 2 years ago and set the record there at the Travelers Championship with his win in 2023 at 23 under. The 39-year-old, his 8th win on tour. Also goes with 4 other wins and a Hooters Tour win. So 13 career wins for him, including his 2011 PGA Championship that he won in a playoff over Jason Duffner. But what a day for the captain, for Captain Keegan. Battled throughout the day. I mean, this was a wild day. I was listening to most of it as I was driving home, coming back from vacation. Get more to that later. But I was listening to most of it, and, horrid start for Tommy Fleetwood. Bogeys the first hole. Fleetwood comes in with a 3-shot lead on the day. He bogeys the first hole. Seems to right the ship a little bit with a birdie on 2. Keegan matches with birdie on 2, and then kind of goes off the rails a little bit. Russell Henley's right there as well. He birdies 1, bogeys 2, but he's right in it the whole day, really. But then Fleetwood bogeys 3 and 4. Feels like he rights the ship. It feels like early, like this thing's, there's no chance he's going to just keep backing up. Rights the ship, makes a good par on 5, strings together a bunch of pars, actually birdies 11 and 13. And at that point, it almost feels like after he birdies 11, Keegan had made bogey back on 10. It feels like it's kind of getting away from Keegan a little bit. And it really feels that way. Everybody in that final group birdies the par 5 13th. And it really feels like it's make or break for Keegan coming into 14. He had hit a really good tee ball on 14. Let me get back there. Sorry, it was just freezing up on me. Buck 24 left to the hole. Kind of like airmail pulls it back into a bunker. It one hops back into the bunker, so it kind of plugs. Has to hit it out sideways. One of the announcers was like, hey, that might even been a little off the hole. Meanwhile, Tommy Fleetwood has stuffed it. He's hit it to 6 feet. So it's like, oh boy, Keegan's got to get, what do you have? 40 feet that he's got to get down in 2 just to make bogey. And Fleetwood's going to make birdie. And it's like, this thing's going to be over. Well, he gets it down in 2. Not terrible. Fleetwood does not make the birdie putt. So, at this point, Fleetwood's even on the day, and Keegan's even on the day. So, 2 back, coming into the final 2 holes. And it's like, okay, like this is tough. There's birdies left coming down. The 15th's like a drivable par 5 or par 4, rather. Sorry. It feels tough. He's out right Fleetwood's out right, but hits a good shot in there. Keegan makes a bomb, a 36-footer. He made a couple of bombs on the day, and it's like, oh boy, like this isn't done, but it feels it's still like there's going to have to be a lot of birdies coming down the stretch. Like I was thinking, like Keegan might have to make 3 birdie, counting 15, might have to birdie 3 of the last 4 to do this. But the wheels come undone for Fleetwood. On 16, he makes bogey. Just left himself in a bad spot. Didn't hit a good chip. 2-putt, bogey. 17, makes a solid par out of the bunker. Because that was when it was like, oh man, he hits it in the bunker off the tee. And he hits a really good shot in. Keegan just snuck one over the edge on 17. Averted disaster there. So we come down to 18. And we're down. Sorry, it was a 3-shot lead going into 15. So we come down to 18. Keegan's one back. He's got to make birdie, you think, to put this into a playoff. Russell Henley actually chips in to get to one back. Russell Henley just kind of faltered, missed some short putts. Felt like there was a point where it was like, oh, Henley's going to be the guy that's got to chase down Fleetwood to prevent Fleetwood from getting this first win of his career on tour. And here comes Captain Keegan. Just absolutely stuffs one. Just absolutely stuffs one on 18. He's got a $138 into the hole, hits it to 5 feet, right under it. Tommy Fleetwood has laced one right down the middle, too. He's got a $148, so he's actually hitting first. I believe they've said he had 9-iron in his hand, second guesses it, goes back, gets pitching wedge, comes up short, just in the fringe, has 50 feet to the hole. So he's putting first. Henley chips it in, and then it felt like Fleetwood got going really, really fast all of a sudden. Left his birdie try, 6 feet 8 inches from the hole, right on Keegan's line. Has to have Keegan move the mark, and hits what looks like to be a good putt at first, maybe sneaking low, hits something, some sort of old pitch mark or just a little dimple in the green or something. Kind of takes a little hop on him and then peels off right. He 3 whams for bogey 16 and 18 coming in, and now it's down to Captain Keegan, who just had the perfect read, puts it right in the center of the heart, and Keegan Bradley with a final round 68 chases down Tommy Fleetwood. Fleetwood cannot get himself off the schneid, and Captain Keegan wins the Travelers, vaults himself up to 9th place in the Ryder Cup standings. We're going to get to that in a second. And wow, what a tournament. The Travelers delivers again. The Travelers is a fun tournament, and it's led to some really fun stuff. We had the playoff last year with Scotty Scheffler and Tom Kim. I think that was that the protest year, right? Keegan had won a couple years ago, set the record for scoring. 2-stroke win for Xander. Harris English in a playoff. DJ won by a stroke. Jordan Spieth won in a playoff. I think that was the year he holed out. 16, Russell Knox 1-stroke. 15, Bubba Watson playoff. 14, 1-stroke. 13, playoff. 12, 1-stroke. 11, 1-stroke. 10, playoff. Like, this tournament's kind of delivered. Like, it's been pretty wild. So Keegan Bradley with the win. He gained in the final round 2.5 strokes putting. Obviously, he made the 36-footer on 16, and then he made a bomb. Was it on 9, I believe? Yeah, 64 feet, 3 inches. Rolled in a bomb on 9 when things were looking a little squirrely for him as well. So gritty round from Keegan Bradley. Just kind of running through some other people on the board before we kind of slide over to Tommy Fleetwood here, which we will. I said Russell Henley was kind of around, kind of wasn't, felt like he had his chances. He shoots 1 under, finishes T2 with Fleetwood. Not bad at all. Harris English, Sunday 65. He keeps kind of playing some solid golf here lately. He's moving up in the Ryder Cup rankings. More signs of life from Jason Day. Scotty Scheffler finishes 3 back and has just a horrendous round Saturday. Opens with triple, makes a double on 8. I mean, you take those 2 back just to bogey, just make a bogey on 1 and 8. He's in a playoff with Keegan, essentially. It doesn't end up that way, but I mean, he shoots 72 on Saturday with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birdies. I mean, that's just not going to happen much. Rory, pretty good week for Rory. Friday 71 really is what kept him out of this. He was just 3 back as well. Brian Harmon around again, just around. Justin Thomas really shot himself in the foot on Saturday. He made a 9, I believe. Yes, a 9 on the 13th hole. Hit one. Oscar Bravo, way left. I love this. I love when you just see shot 2 penalty. Ends up making a 9, so makes a 7 afterwards. Just an absolute debacle. Pat Cantlay, T12, just hanging around. Ben Griffin felt like didn't get a lot of burn this week, but was right there, T14. Huge shout out to JJ Spawn. JJ Spawn comes in after winning the U.S. Open, shoots 73 on round 1. In round 2, comes out, and I believe he started on the front 9. Double, par, bogey, was 6 over at one point. Ends up shooting just 1 over in round 2. Comes back with a hell of a weekend, 66, 63. I believe he started on the front 9 and actually really, really cooled off he started on the back 9. They do have this in the right order. Started on the back 9. The side where you can get all the scoring. Okay, I was going to say, because I didn't think it was on the front 9. She goes out in 30. Comes back, nothing crazy about out front, just a couple under, but 63. So a guy who was 6 over, about 22 holes into this tournament, finishes at 7 under. That's a hell of a bounce back. Definitely some U.S. Open hangover there, and really, really buckled down and really put something together. Xander Schauffele struggles. 72 on Friday, 75 on Sunday, just wasn't his best stuff. Jordan Spieth actually withdrew from the tournament. It was actually kind of funny the way it happened. He was like, it's the first time he's ever withdrawn from a tournament. He's like, I need to withdraw. He looked at the rules and he's like, I don't know how to do this. Like, what do I do? That was just really funny. Too bad he had to withdraw, but just kind of funny in the way it all went down. So didn't even complete his first round. No score posted at all. Victor Hovland also WD'd after a Saturday 63. I believe that was a neck thing, or was Spieth a neck? One of them was a neck. But Saturday 63 and then had to withdraw on Sunday. So something weird was going on. And then as I'm down here looking at WDs, Nick Dunlap just still going through it, man. Just tough for Nick Dunlap. 76, 75, 67 on Saturday, 73 on Sunday. Just the guys working through it. So Tommy Fleetwood, we got to do it. We're going to put the poor boy through it. He's struggling, man. He just can't get it. I mean, he's not struggling, which is the craziest thing. He just can't get it across the finish line. I mean, if you look at his strokes gained for the tournament, putting, he was slightly positive, 0.10. I mean, everything else is just phenomenal. Around the green, plus 1.21. Approach, plus 1.0. Off the tee, plus 0.48. He doesn't gain a lot distance. He's very accurate. Tee to green, plus 0.69. I believe that led the field this week. It did. Second was Russell Henley. I don't know. I don't know what it is with Tommy. There's something to it. I mean, he's just not, he lost strokes putting in round 1, gained in round 2, gained a bunch in round 3. Today, he lost 2.19 shots on the green. I mean, that's got to be near the bottom. Yeah, I mean, the only people who finished worse than him on the greens today, Nick Dunlap, who finished 66th, Adam Hadwin, who finished 57th, Pat Cantlay, who finished T12, lost 3.17 shots around the green. Max Grazeman lost 3.22. Again, Max Grazeman, not a good putter. Tony Finau, who finished 66th. Ryan Gerard, who finished 54th. Like, that's bad. That's really bad. Rory gained 3.43 today. Ryan Fox, 4.07. Good gracious. You can just, the Tommy Fleetwood things, you just start lining them up. Most top 10s without a win, like 42, 6 runners up. Like, the guy's a phenomenal player. And something just doesn't click for him, bringing it in. Like, it's not like he got really run down today. I mean, Henley and Keegan were there. Scotty was back there. Rory was back there. But, like, those guys were all too far back. Like, this was Henley, Keegan, and Fleetwood. They all get pushed into the final group. Jason Day was around. He could have made some noise, but, nobody within shouting distance shot anything better than -2. Day shot 2 under. Bradley shoots 2 under. Henley shoots 1 under. There's a big group of guys who shoot -5. Scotty, Rory, Harris English, Harry Hall, JJ Spawn shoots 7 under. But, like, none of those guys are in the tournament, essentially. It was a 3-man race. And it's not like those guys beat the door down with 68 and 69. Tommy just didn't close the door. He left the door open. Even par wins today on a course that, most of the players were going under par. I mean, if you go down the leaderboard, I mean, in the top 24, only 3 guys, only 3 guys shot over par, and one of them was Tommy Fleetwood. The others were Nick Taylor and Wyndham Clark. I mean, that's the story, man. The door was left open by Tommy Fleetwood, and Keegan Bradley weaseled his way in there. So it's tough. That's tough for Tommy Fleetwood. That one is as much of a choke as any of Fleetwood's losses have been. I mean, that was 100% a choke. There's no doubt about it. There's nothing else to say. I railed on him. I don't like railing on him because I felt like, I felt like I didn't want to just rail on the guy forever and be like, hey, he can't win. But it's tough. Like that's as much of an opportunity to win. 3-shot lead coming into the day, and you lose by a shot to a guy that just shoots 2 under on a course that had 65 out there. Had 63 out there, and you can't do it. I mean, that's a hard one. That's a hard one to swallow. So now the discussion moves to Keegan a little bit more again here. He moves up to 9th in the Ryder Cup standings. And right now, if you're strictly talking about guys you want on the course playing golf in the Ryder Cup, who are you taking? What are the 12 guys you're taking that aren't him? I can't get there because the top 12 is the top 6 is Scotty, Xander, JJ Spawn, Russell Henley, Bryson DeChambeau, Justin Thomas. I would say those guys are all locks, even if they fall out. Colin Morikawa is at 7. I've had my druthers with Colin Morikawa. He's getting picked on this team. And I don't think that there's a point where he shouldn't. So he's a lock. So now we go 8. So now we're at 8. We got Ben Griffin. I don't think he's a lock. I would say he's probably there in pencil. He's got to keep up some form. He can't fall off. If he falls off, he's gone. Keegan at 9. Harris English, who's playing good golf. He keeps up this form, putting him there in pencil. So I think we're at 7 guarantees. 8 and 9 are penciled in. Keegan's at 9. I would pencil Keegan in right now if I'm picking the team. Then it gets a little interesting. What's nice about this team so far is the interesting has gotten smaller. The guys that you feel a little bit better about up there, 1 to 9, feel a little bit better. Then you're at 11 with Matt McNeely, 12 with Brian Harmon. Again, he's just hanging around. Andrew Novak at 13. He feels like he's becoming an afterthought for this. Cantlay and Burns are at 14, 15. They're going to be serious considerations. There's guys on the teams they'd like to pair them with. The Burns thing is hurt a little bit by Russell Henley being such a great partner for Scotty at the President's Cup. But again, it's the President's Cup. Let's not get too out of control with that. And then you got Tom Obi, Cam Young, who had a chance to do something this weekend and kind of blew it. Berger, Finau's not really doing anything. Glover at 20. And I think we're done. I mean, the only guy outside the top 20 I think you really got to keep your eye on is Spieth at 25. And he's fallen. And if there's anything to this injury, like he's going to fall some more, it's going to be tough to justify a pick on Spieth. So I'm struggling to find a way you don't put Keegan Bradley on this team. I really am. And I know it's going to be weird because he's the captain. He originally said he was only going to pick himself if he qualified on points. There's been some change in the rhetoric a little bit lately. He said in, I guess, a post-round interview, he's going to do what's best for the team. I have to imagine he's hearing it from people around him. There's, guys on the broadcast booth are saying things to Kisner. Dan Hicks was saying stuff to Kisner about it. Like, we really have to consider what this means for the Ryder Cup, the U.S. Ryder Cup team going forward. And, like, how do you do this? There's obviously other guys that are assistant captains out there. Brant Snedeker, Kevin Kisner's out there as an assistant captain. Like, those guys have to have, when they went into this, at least if they were smart, who knows if the U.S. Ryder Cup establishment was smart about this, but you'd have to imagine there were some contingencies put in place about what to do if Keegan makes the team. Keegan's a full-time player. It's not like a kid who's playing here and there and doing some booth work as well. Like, he's a full-time player. You would have to think when they went into this, the assistant captains were taking some more of the load off early and being like, hey, we're going to, each captain is usually, from what I've heard, is usually given like some guys they keep an eye on, they spend more time with throughout the year. You'd have to think they took on a little bit more of a load early in this process and are prepared for the fact that, hey, maybe Keegan is going to play. And, if he plays, what's it look like? He probably plays, a match a day? Maybe doesn't play one of the days, but, probably what would you do? If he did anything, he goes out an alternate shot each day. Maybe they do that in the morning. He goes first off so he can be done and back in part of the team. He's there at night. Maybe it's the afternoon and he goes out, pencils himself in for last so he can be available. Something like that. There's some really funny things getting floated around. Tiger is the thing that's getting out there. Tiger comes in as a late captain. A lot of the discussion about Tiger was he didn't want to do like all the pomp and circumstance and media and all the other pre-tournament prep work for it. Well, hey, we're kind of past most of that. And Tiger as the late captain replacement with, Keegan drops to an assistant and then gets Adair Manor in 2 years. That is a hilarious idea. Probably a terrible idea. And at the same time, I'm like, I'm kind of in. Like, just roll Tiger in there to be like the figurehead at the end. He gets to put some input in. He's been there. He's been a President's Cup captain. He's been assistant captains for Ryder Cup. Like, just roll him in. He's the figurehead. He's the rah-rah guy. The guys would seem to enjoy playing for him. Like, it sounds stupid. It sounds funny. It sounds like a bad idea. And I'm almost like, you could almost talk me into it. You could kind of like pretty easily talk me into it, probably. I don't know. It's wild, dude. I just don't know. I'm feeling better about the U.S. Ryder Cup team. Obviously, the European team has looked pretty solid for most of the year. Rory finding a little bit of form after maybe a little bit of a dry spell post-Masters. Tommy Fleetwood is playing good golf. And, these things haven't broke him in the past. Is this the one that does? Maybe. I don't know. I doubt it. He's too good. He's going to break through eventually. Tyrrell Hatton, nice showing at the U.S. Open. Again, it's tough with the live guys because you just don't see them. Big Bob McIntyre's been playing some good golf. Two concerns for the European team is Shane Lowry and Sepp Straka have really been struggling. They both played pretty poorly this week. Shane Lowry, 72, 73, 66, 69. Sepp Straka, 74, 71, 67, 68. A little bit better on the weekend for both of them, but they haven't had their best stuff. Ludwig has been, kind of MIA this year. Victor is, popped in spots, has won a tournament, but said he won it without his A game. Rasmus Højgaard's in the 7th spot. Justin Rose, Thomas Dietrich's kind of around. They got Matt Wallace, Nicholas Norgard, Aaron Rye, Rasmus Nygaard Peterson, Thorborn Orleason. Obviously, they've got Rahm. Rahm's going to be on the team, so I'm feeling better. I mean, 2 months ago, I was in the Europeans are going to roll us. It's going to be really bad. And now I'm like, maybe we're going to be all right. Like, home team's winning the Ryder Cup. So who knows? But yeah, it's going to be a fun kind of down the stretch stuff with the whole Keegan Bradley thing. And then the question about him being a playing captain is how much the captains matter. I've kind of become under the impression that the captains can't screw it up. The captains can screw it up. Can the captains really, do something to take the team over the edge? Maybe you could. You could probably point to examples. I think the fact of the matter is home teams win this thing most of the time. And as long as you're not a captain that screws it up and your guys show up and play better golf, and you can, as long as you're not messing with the pairings late, doing stuff that people haven't prepped for and planned for, yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. You're going to have to, deal with a hot golfer. You're going to have to deal with a cold golfer. And there are options, but have those contingencies built in. Hey, if this guy's cold, just say Xander Schauffele and Pat Cantlay. Hey, we're going to send Xander Schauffele and Pat Cantlay out. They're going to play probably at least twice together. But what if they play the first day and one of them's really bad? Who does Xander play with if Cantlay plays bad? Have that ready. Who does Cantlay play with if Xander plays bad? If you have those ready, and you be like, okay, this guy's cold. Here's our contingencies. We just move to that as long as that guy's playing. Just have a couple options. It feels like you could be prepped and ready so that if the time comes that Keegan's the captain, he can be like, he can meet with Furyk and Kisner and Simpson and Brandt Snedeker and be like, these are where we're going. And if I'm out here, you guys have the authority to do this. So who knows? We'll see. It'll be a fun ride coming in the stretch here. So let's move on. Let's check in with the Guardians. I don't know if we even talked about them last pod, so we're going to kind of backtrack a little bit here. Not a good run against the Reds. I think that was the last time we talked was when they played the Astros, but lose the series to the Reds, get swept by the Mariners, and this West Coast trip is looking bad. And I didn't watch much, if any, of these games. They're on the West Coast. I was on vacation. I was on vacation on the East Coast, so the games were starting at 10 o'clock. I wasn't watching them. But they take the first two from the Giants, dump the last one, split the first two with the A's, take the last one. So they end the West Coast road trip, not in a terrible spot. 4-5 could have been a lot worse. Last week was a 4-2 week. So, hey, maybe build some momentum on it. The Central's getting a little out of reach here. I mean, there's still a lot of baseball to be played, but 8.5 games back of the Tigers. This past week put them back into a wild card spot. They're with the Mariners. For some reason, they're ranked ahead of the Mariners, but 5-5 in their last 10 now. That had been in the 4-6, the 3-7 range. So, game and a half back of the Blue Jays, who they're playing here this week. They play them Tuesday. When this pod will drop, they start a 3-game set with them in Cleveland, and then the Cardinals come to town as well. So a nice homestand for them after being on the road for a while. So, I mean, the Blue Jays, obviously, good team, out ahead of them, game and a half ahead of them in the wild card. Hey, take a couple from these guys, bring that lead back down a little bit, sweep them if you want, and jump out ahead of them. And then, the Cardinals are a solid team too. They are, I think they're fighting for a wild card spot themselves. Yeah, they're a game back of the Brewers in the wild card. They're 42-36, so a very solid team themselves. So this is an important week, as I say every week. But you're up against one of the team right in front of you in the wild card, and it seems like the wild card is the way in for this team this year. So you got to make hay this week against these guys. I mean, you got 3 games at home against the team right in front of you. Then you got 3 games at home against another solid team. You got to come out ahead and play some good ball against them. Then they go Cubbies the following week in Chicago. That city sucks, by the way. And then Detroit. Detroit comes to town, which is going to be a tough one. I don't know if the Cubs are. How are the Cubs doing? I don't think they're doing that good, are they? I could be wrong. I'm very wrong. Nope, they're very good. They're leading the NL Central, one of the best records in the National League. So good call there, Jordan. Elsewhere, NHL Florida Panthers win the NHL playoffs, finals, Stanley Cup playoffs. They win the Stanley Cup. There we go. I was struggling with Stanley Cup, so they win that. And the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 7 take down the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton blows out his ACL in the first half. We're going to put an asterisk next to this. next to this title win for OKC. They encountered a lot of injuries this postseason. I believe, Ja Morant goes down. Steph went down against them. Somebody, when they were playing Denver, who is that? Gorta, I don't know. Then Halliburton. A bunch of guys wearing the number 0 go down with ACL injuries. I believe it was Dame Lillard. Who else am I missing? Somebody, and then Halliburton. All wear 0, all go down with ACL injuries. So, tough beat for those guys. Time for some passing thoughts. Vacation. I was on vacation this week. It was fun. It was nice. It was real nice. Went to Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine. Very scenic state, I'd been told. And you know what? It lived up to the hype. The friend of the program, Mr. Waiter, had always claimed Maine. Very scenic up there. And it in fact was. Stayed in Portland. Did that whole deal. Did Acadia one day. Really cool. Acadia National Park. Drove up the Cadillac Mountain Road. Really, really cool drive up there. Got up at the top and hiked around a little bit. The only thing that stunk was there was like a fog layer had like came in and like came across the top of the mountain. And so from the top of the mountain, you couldn't see down. You could go down about, there were different like pull-offs along the way down that we were able to get down and see the whole thing, look out over Bar Harbor and see out to a lake that's out there. It's out to the ocean. Really cool stuff. Really, really beautiful national park. First time I'd been to a national park in a while. National parks are busy. There are lots of people there. A lot going on. International travelers, you caught a lot of different accents. Getting to Maine's not as long of a flight, apparently coming over from across the sea. So very cool all in all. That was a fun experience. Portland was awesome. Portland, Maine's a great town. Had a really good time there. We had considered staying in Bar Harbor for a minute, and then we drove around Bar Harbor a little bit. We were going to grab lunch there. We ended up getting lunch just a little out of like downtown Bar Harbor at a place that had been recommended to us. And we did not regret the decision to stay in Portland over Bar Harbor. Bar Harbor was packed, and it was very, very, like, not that Portland isn't touristy. Bar Harbor was really, really touristy. Like, you see, like, there are all the little trinket shops, like every like 3 stores down there. So Portland is really fun. I ate a lot of lobster, and it turns out lobster is still really, really good. So, in a past life, I had worked for a lobster distribution company. I ate a lot of lobster for the year I did that, and it was really good because it was stuff that had come straight from Maine. It was live lobsters delivered right down to just out. It was delivered to Maryland. We went and got it, and I was living and working just outside Washington, D.C. And I was always like, man, lobster is awesome. I'd liked lobster from before, but then I had like good, fresh, real lobster, and I was like, man, this is even better than I ever thought. Well, it's been, over 10 years since I did that. Moved to the Midwest, 9 years ago, give or take here. And I was like, man, is lobster even that good? Like, I'd had some stuff from like a lobster food truck, and it was good, but I was like, in like the back of my mind, I was like, man, that was really good, but like, I almost felt like I remembered it better. Maybe like, you always remember things better than they are. Turns out lobster's still really, really good when you get good fresh lobster. Here's what I ate on this trip. We got in Tuesday. We got a pizza from Monty's. If you're follow Dave Portnoy in the One Bite app, look that up. That's a very high rated pizza. 8.4, I think, is a pretty damn good rating for that. Fantastic. The next day for lunch, I got a lobster roll flight at a brewery while having some beers. For dinner that night, I had a lobster dinner. So okay, now I've got to figure all this out. It's tough. It's tough for me to figure all this out. There's so many different things. The Bar Harbor day, the Bar Harbor Acadia, stopped at a place outside Bar Harbor called the Lobster Pound. Had a lobster roll there. Fantastic. Maybe the best one I had on the trip. I got the Connecticut there, the warm bun, drawn butter over the top. Really, really good. Just judging by the way they did it, might have been better to get the Maine lobster, the chilled with the mayo, with the slice of mayo, not slice, the swipe of mayo rather. Still really, really good. Then I had a Maine lobster roll that night back in Gilbert's Chowder House. Friday for lunch had pizza again. Then Friday for dinner had a lobster roll flight. Like, I ate pizza and lobster rolls. Pizza and lobster. That's all I ate. And it was fantastic. Pizza, a great pizza, a square, like Detroit style pizza, thick, fluffy, crispy crust. It was awesome. It was awesome. There were some questions I had, though. There were some questions. Like, and one of the toll roads on the way out there, I think this was in Massachusetts, maybe. I think Massachusetts. They had like the plazas on each side that you just, you don't ever leave the road. You just slide off, then slide back on. Gas was 2 cents cheaper on one side than the other. Didn't make sense to me. Didn't make sense to me at all. I've also started to question, when did hotel pillows become such dog shit, and when did they start giving you so few? Like, we had a king bed when we were in Portland, and there were 2 tiny pillows for each of us. Like, there were 2, like, the pillows were so small, there was like a gap this big on either side of the bed with the pillows, and then like a gap like that big in the middle. It's like, when did we start really skimping on the pillows? I've got another pillow thing coming for a later story about the return trip and our hotel on the return trip, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Also, Hampton has those maple sausage bites that they put out for breakfast sometimes, and they do it very infrequently. Like, other times they're putting out like turkey sausage, or like they had turkey sausage links and chicken sausage patties. Like, what are we doing? You got them maple sausage, like, sliced links? Like, fire those fuckers out there. I can eat like 20 to 30 of those at a time. Give me those. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? You also see things when you're back, traveling. One night on the way out there, we stayed in Ole, New York. Just watch a dude come out, and he wasn't well, obviously, and just absolutely smoke a street sign. Just talking to himself, just come out, wham, bam. I was like, oh, okay. Ole, New York, very interesting town. Nice downtown, cute little downtown. And then you like keep going. Beautiful high school. Looked like a turf, baseball, lacrosse field, nice football stadium. And then you got like the old mall that has like an old Bonton with all the Bonton signage still there. But then there's like a Kohl's that's like still operating in it. So weird little cross section there. And then you see all the New Jersey drivers. And you know who else may be just as bad of a driver as New Jersey people? Massachusetts people. Those people are fucking idiots when they drive. And I can't remember if the person I saw do what I'm about to say was New Jersey or Massachusetts. My brain defaults to New Jersey, but this could have been Massachusetts as well. I don't exactly remember, but this lady is holding her phone. She's driving like a Mercedes SUV or a BMW SUV, some sort of a luxury SUV. They've paid a boatload of money. This thing has Bluetooth in it. She's holding her phone in one hand, driving with the other, has a little shitty ankle biter dog on her lap, almost fucking rear ends somebody, then swerves out into the other side of traffic, almost smokes another person, and then is like throwing her hands up like it's everybody else's fault. It's like, hey, lady, you're the asshole. You're the asshole. Probably the worst person you could ever meet. Just my guess. Just my guess. I don't know. We'll save the food stuff for later. I do have, this was a good one. We did this last year when we went on vacation at Christmas. And because the NFL games were going to be on Netflix, and I was like, we're going to get to this, and we were renting a house. I'm like, we're going to get to this place, and the TV is going to be impossible, and you're not going to be able to download apps. They're going to have that locked out, and I'm not going to be able to watch football. So I was like, I'm just going to bring my Roku stick. I'm going to plug it in to the TV, and I'll be good to go. Like, any app I want, I'll have YouTube TV. Anything we need for like when we're hanging at the house at night, watching games or something, it'll be there. So I've like adopted that, like, that's what I'm going to do. And we brought our Roku stick along again. And it's not like you're watching a bunch of TV, but like, you get out, you do something in the morning, you come back. When we had the dog with us. So, you're coming back and feeding the dog, let him chill for a little bit. It's getting hot, let him cool down. So like you've got like these little inner periods of thing. It's like, it's just nice to be like, oh, you want to watch the show we're watching? Like, oh, you want to watch something on Netflix? You want to watch, that you're going to have the channels you want. Like, it is a really nice thing. Like, the end of the night, you've been out, you've been doing things all day. You're like, I just like to go back. We've had dinner. We've had some drinks out. I'd like to go back and just lay in bed at the end of the night and watch something for 30 minutes while I, decompress and go to bed. It's such a nice thing. If it wouldn't piss my wife off that I'd take it with me when I would travel for work, I would do it more. We've got enough of them laying around here that I can probably still do them, but I only have one Roku. I've got some Amazon Fire TV sticks, and they're not nearly as nice. I might have to buy a Roku just to be like my travel Roku when I go for work, because it is such a nice feeling to just have that. And it's just, it's wonderful. Another thing I noticed on vacation, and, walking the dog, usually when we walk dogs around my neighborhood, like it's a quiet residential neighborhood in a small town. Like you don't see a ton of people out. But when you're walking around like Portland and at Acadia and Bar Harbor and doing all that stuff, like when we first got to Acadia, we went to, the visitor center to grab a map and see if we wanted to get any, anything to bring back, T-shirts, trinkets, things like that. Obviously, they don't let dogs in the visitor center, so one of us would go in while the other sat out. My wife went in first, and I was just sitting out there, and my dog was the star of the show. Everybody walking by was like, "Oh, can I pet your dog? Can I pet your dog?" And then I realized about halfway through, I started really judging people based on their reaction to how they acted about my dog, about Boomer. You'd see a lot of people, they'd like smile at you and be like, oh, how cute. But like, they were like, I'm not going to go over to somebody's dog. And then other people are brash. Like, hey, can I come over? And he loves it so much that I almost prefer people do, because like, if they don't, he's like trying to like almost be like, why don't you love me? The people that like see him, acknowledge him, be like, I don't know. I judge you. I judge all of you. The people that are like, he's a cute puppy. He's looking by and they say something, or you can tell they're like, oh, it's a good looking dog. You're fine. The people that come over, you're almost a little weird, but hey, I do it too. I'm a weirdo. So like, I get it. I'm down. The people are just like, look at him like, no chance. I judge you. I judge you hard. I judge you real hard. Let's do a couple of food things. I know I already did lobster. Lobster, still good. Diet Coke stinks. I want to get that out there. Diet Coke stinks. So I got thinking about my rankings of, Coke and Pepsi. And there's a difference, and you can tell a difference, and people who say you can't are clowns. I'm going to separate this a little bit because I don't drink regular Coke or Pepsi anymore. I stopped doing it one time, and it's like, if I even do it, it's like too much for me. It's like too sugary, too syrupy. I don't know what it is like. So Coke and Pepsi are in their own little thing. I've always preferred Coke to Pepsi. I've never had a problem with Pepsi, but I always, if you give me the option, it'd be Coke over Pepsi. That's in the bottle. I could drink a regular like fountain Coke, and I do the mixture when I do fountains. I do half Coke, half diet, or like half Pepsi, half diet. But now when you get into like the things I drink, it's Coke Zero, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, the Pepsi Zero. Coke Zero is far and away the best. It tastes almost like regular Coke, but just like thinner. It feels like just like thinned out a little bit. So that's a clear and away number one. My number two is actually Diet Pepsi. I like Diet Pepsi more than I like the Pepsi Zero or the Pepsi Max or whatever the heck they're calling it. Then I would go the Pepsi Max, and then Diet Coke is far and away the worst. Like, there's Coke Zero is far and away the best. I got Coke Zero, Diet Pepsi, Pepsi Max, and then way down on the floor, I had to crouch there a little bit. Way down on the floor is Diet Coke. Diet Coke stinks. I went one day when we got the pizza, the one day for lunch. We came back and they didn't have soda it was like an old Italian, like a little grocery store. And they didn't have like sodas in there. Usually you grab a soda at a place like that. They didn't have. So I was like, I'll go back to they'll have it in the hotel, in the little cubby there with all the snacks and treats and drinks. They didn't have a Coke Zero. They didn't have a regular Coke. They didn't have a Diet Coke. They didn't have a Pepsi. Nothing. So I was like, hey, do you guys, that's what I was like, you guys have any Diet Coke? And they had just a can of Diet Coke that was warm. So I had to shove in a bunch of ice to cool it down. Diet Coke stinks. It stinks. It stinks. You know what doesn't stink? Hot, fresh, and ready Krispy Kreme donuts. We got to our hotel on the return trip. It's a 2-day trip out there for us. So you hotel in the middles. And there was a Krispy Kreme right up the road. And oh boy, was that delicious. One single Krispy Kreme donut. The roommate went. Thank God I didn't want. I would have came back with a half dozen, maybe a dozen. Never know. I would have been like, a dozen ain't going to go to waste. She got 2, one for each of us. Probably the right decision because those things are so good. Just like they melt in your mouth when they're hot and fresh. Just, so good. That was one of the only good things about that stop. We stopped in Erie, PA. The Home 2 Suites in Erie, PA. In hindsight, it was right next to a U Sports, setup. There's what seemed to be a soccer tournament going on. So there's like 5, 6, 7 hotels right there. All sold out, all flooded with kids. What a disaster that hotel stay was. First off, get there. The roommate's already noticing. She's like, the floor to the hallway does not look like it's been vacuumed recently. I was like, oh, God. Because then she gets all amped up, and then I get amped up. I'm like, oh, it's probably not that bad. The hallway floors just get dirty. Well, when we get into the room, the room may not have been vacuumed either. Then I booked I'd like to book the king bed if I can, but if they only got the queen, they only got the queen. So single queen bed. This fucking bed was not a queen bed. I don't know what it was, like a full, a double, whatever you want to call it, like the size bed you have when you're a kid and you like upgrade from like the single to twin, which makes no sense why they call the single bed a twin. I don't get that either. But like the first one you upgrade to and you're like, oh yeah, I've got a real bed now. And it's not a queen, it's smaller, and it's like so much space when it's just a single person, right? You're like, I'm a kid, I got this whole big bed. Well, when you're married and you sleep with the roommate and you got a dog, like it gets small really fast. So that happened. Then there was a fucking track meet going on above us. Like from we got there at like 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock. Yeah, probably 7:30. It's like, you hear them running. I'm like, all right, I'll deal with it. I'm not going to be grumpy old man yet. They're kids. They're at this tournament. I've been there. I've done that. Then 8:30, it's still going on. 9, it's still going on. 9:30, it's still going on. 10 o'clock, it's still going on. Now it's 10:30. I'm trying to get up early to get back on the road. So I'm like, I had it, man. I'm old man in it. I'm doing it. I'm calling the front desk. I call him. He's like, yeah. I'm dealing with so many problems here. I don't even know if I can get to it. I don't even know if I can get to it. So we dealt with that till it was probably like 11:30 when that shit finally stopped. The dog's wanting to go fucking absolutely ape shit. I'm trying to stop him the whole night so he's not barking and getting me in trouble. Not that would have seemed to have mattered at this hotel. Just what a terrible experience. I usually love Home 2 Suites. I usually love Hilton properties. might need to write a strongly worded email letting these people know that I'm not pleased. I'm not pleased. Oh, there were 2 pillows. No, 3 pillows for the bed. So it's like, why are there 3? This bed's supposed to fit 2 people because it's a queen and you only put 3 pillows in there? Well, we're going to share one? Weirdos. Which led me into this other thing that I got like in a rant on about the day of. So there's all these parents and all these kids, and it's like the parents are fed up with the kids because the kids are trying to get all this energy out. And, they're all in the pool, and you can tell the parents are pissed that the kids are kind of fucking off because they're stuck at this hotel. And the parents are exacerbated because they don't want to be there. Like, you can see it. They don't want to do this. They don't want to shell out $300-$400 for a weekend's worth of hotels, if not more. Probably more based on what we paid. Maybe they got a group right. And it's like, then the next morning, this mom comes barreling out, and it's the exact mom you think it is. It's the white soccer mom. Like, exactly what I'm talking about. And the kid's kind of dragging out. She's like, get your ass moving. And she's like bitching at the kid because the kid is in no hurry to go do what he's doing. And she doesn't want to be there. You can tell. So she's pissed. He's taking time. She wants to get going and get to the game and get done and get out of there and get home. And it got me thinking about U Sports and travel leagues and AAU. And this is coming from a guy who played AAU basketball from the time I was in 8th grade till the time I graduated high school. And these kids were not that old. I want to say that. These kids maybe 5th, 6th, 7th grade. There's there's something wrong with what's happened with AAU and travel sports. When I did it, barely anybody did it. Like, if you were going to play an AAU or a travel sport, like, you had ambitions to go play a college sport in some way. And, like, I was on the low end of, like, the people making those kind of teams. Like, you weren't just doing it, like, if you were going to just play high school basketball or high school soccer. Like, you did this because you wanted to go play soccer at a college level. And I went and played basketball Division III. So, like, I was at the bottom end of this. And I can remember my AAU coach, who was a great guy, great coach, great dude. He's like, look, if your goal is not to play college basketball, you shouldn't do this. Like, we're not just out here doing this to do this for fun. And my coach was really good about keeping costs manageable, keeping most of the tournaments within driving distance from where everybody lived. There were a couple that you went and stayed in a hotel and you did the whole experience. Like, we went to Cleveland and went to Cedar Point, went to like a Cavs game one year and like did a whole thing. It was a ton of fun. And like, I had so much fun doing this, but like, I really wanted to be there. And like, I didn't do it because my friends were doing it. Like, I didn't have friends on the team until I became part of the team. And then we like developed friendships while we were there. Like, I didn't just be like, oh, all my friends are going to play this AAU sport, I should go play too. And then you get there and you're like, do I really want to play the sport that bad? Or do I just want to be a part of the thing? So then you got kids who don't actually want to be there. You've got parents who are paying these now exorbitant fees for what these teams have become. Like, I want to say the fee for me to play on my AAU basketball team for the spring year of the really good team I played on was like $325. Granted, that was 18 years ago, and so things have been. But like, you'll hear some of the figures now. It's like $2,000-$3,000, and they're like, we're traveling every weekend, every tournament, hotels, multiple hours away. So you got parents having to drop all this money. I'm convinced nobody in the world has any money because they've all got fucking $1,000 car payments and houses they can't afford. And you've got all these people doing this shit that nobody actually wants to be there. The kids don't actually want to do it like this. They just didn't want to get left out. The parents want to like virtue signal, look what we do for our kids. Our kids play AAU. We travel to this. Oh, we've got a big tournament coming up in Nashville this weekend. Oh, we're going 4 hours and staying in the hotel 3 nights because it's real. Shut the fuck up. It's gotten so warped. It's like I will speak so highly of my experience doing it. And my experience isn't even close to what I see now. Again, I started doing that when I was 14. We would stay away 1-2 nights a week of like an 8 to 10 week schedule. I did it from 14 to 17. I didn't do it when I was 8. 8-year-old kids don't need to go stay in a hotel 7 times a year. And half those kids aren't even going to play the sport in like 4 years. I just got it. It just ate me alive when I saw all that. Sorry, had to get that out. Let me just double check. Getting back, sleeping in your own bed, taking a shower in your own place. I love going on vacation. Coming home from vacation may be the best part of it. I had a great time, but like when you get home, you're just like, this is so nice. And then last thing I'll say, Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez fight. They've been doing the press tour. I believe September 13th. I believe that's Mexican Independence Day, right? Yeah, Mexican Independence Day, I think. On Netflix. If you got Netflix, it's already free. I'd encourage you if you like any sort of combat sports, I think this could be a good fight. It's already on Netflix. Check it out. My big takeaway from the press conference is Terrence Crawford is the same size as Canelo Alvarez. He does not look small up against him. He's obviously coming up 2 weight classes. He's coming up from 154 to 168. He did a lot of his work at 140 and 147. He's only been at 154 for a little bit, but he's coming up 14 pounds to 168. Usually when you see that, and Crawford's frame is still a little smaller than Canelo's, and Canelo's kind of moved up a way. Like, Canelo could probably still be like 160. I mean, Canelo started at 147 too, so it's not like Canelo's a big 168, but like I was shocked. I was expecting Canelo to look not significantly bigger, but noticeably bigger than Terrence Crawford, and I did not see that. So, just saying, Just saying, I thought this was going to be a big ask for Crawford. Just from seeing that, I like Crawford's prospects a little bit more. And Crawford's an absolute murderer. Canelo's great too, but if there's some value in a Crawford bet, you may find me on that. We got plenty of time until we get to that, but we'll be looking forward to that. So let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. Just want to say thank you to everyone. Just again, I appreciate everything. So thank you. Appreciate the watches, the listens. Don't forget to check out the merch shop. I'll put that link in the description of this episode. Don't forget to check out my guy MJ over at the Full Range Podcast. You can find that at the Full Range Podcast on Spotify and on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. I believe we're going to work to get him some merch on the merch shop too, so we can have you can double up your merch in there. Back next week, got more golf to talk about. It'll be an interesting golf week. I don't even know what the golf is. More passing thoughts, more baseball, more everything. We're back. We'll be back. Come see us next week. Till then, peace.